A man uncovered a treasure trove of ancient history while trying to fix his toilet. If you've ever plunged a toilet, you know that fixing one is a dirty job, and the only treasure you're going to find is not really something worth keeping. Fortunately, Luciano Fagiano found something that he definitely wanted to keep when he and his two sons were trying to fix a toilet from a serious sewage issue. The Fagianos first stumbled upon a false floor while looking for the pipe, and then another level filled with stone from the Middle Ages. They began to notice more and more remnants of ancient life. When the word got out, officials were sent to their home, and Fagiano had to halt his search for a sewage pipe. A professional archaeologist was then sent a year later to oversee the excavation, which resulted in a trove of artifacts. There was ancient pottery, all different kinds of jewelry, Roman devotional bottles, long-forgotten frescoes, and other relics. It was abundant and spanned over several millennia, beginning with the original Greek settlers. Different chambers showed up during the digging. An ancient tomb that was attributed to the Messapians, who inhabited the region over 2 millennia ago. A Roman granary and cisterns, a chamber where nuns used to prepare bodies of the deceased several centuries earlier, and the list went on. Many of the artifacts found were seized by authorities, but luckily, Fagiano was able to keep enough artifacts to open a museum instead of a trattoria. Prison. There's nothing good about prison. Like, you have to sleep on those tiny beds, hold on tightly to your soap in the bathroom, and sometimes even do community service. These prison inmates, however, had a pretty good day in their prison while they were doing agricultural work on land owned by the plebeian prison. Things were smooth until they accidentally discovered a hoard of over 7,000 silver coins minted by the Ottoman Empire and hidden in 2 treasure pots. The 7,046 Ottoman Turkish silver coins in question are of the so-called axes, the main monetary unit of the Ottoman Empire. According to archaeologist Vladimir Nadinov, this amount of money could buy 3 houses in Edirne, which is a former capital of the Ottoman Empire, and a major city in today's European Turkey. Unfortunately, the prisoners' good day only lasted so long because they were not able to even keep 1 coin. It's a shame when a good deed goes unnoticed in a prison, of all places. So close, guys, so close. Inside a piano. Here's a guy who did get to keep his coins. And to make it even better, these coins were gold. The piano was donated to Bishop's Castle Community College by Meg and Graham Hemmings, while they were getting rid of things to downsize. They probably would have never donated the piano if they had known what was hiding inside of it. While working on the piano, tuning technician Mr. Backhouse found 7 cloth-bound packets underneath the keys, which contained 500,000 euros, $571,974.50 worth of gold coins. The golden coins were made up of gold sovereigns and half-sovereigns dating back from the reigns of Victoria, Edward VII, and George V. Mr. Blackhouse got to keep half of the gold coins while the other half was given to the college. Unfortunately, the original owners Meg and Graham were given nothing. Gold in the tank. Nick Mead operates Tanks-A-Lot, a company that maintains a fleet of battlefield tanks for recreational and corporate use. Mead's love for tanks caused him to make a trade of $42,000 worth of vehicles for a tank listed on eBay. And yes, you heard that right. He bought the tank off eBay. Mead, with the help of the Tanks-A-Lot staff, gave the tank a thorough examination when they received it. They did some maintenance on it, replacing worn parts and giving it a general facelift so it would be ready to join the Tanks-A-Lot fleet. While restoring the tank, the team found some ammo in one of the fuel canisters and set it aside so they could turn it into the authorities. This find was just the beginning. When they realized there was something wrong with the second fuel canister, they decided to check it as well. At first, they thought it was filled with guns, but when they realized it was extremely heavy, they weren't sure about the guess anymore. When the fuel canister was finally open, Mead's friend, Todd, reached inside and pulled out something that no one else would have imagined: a bar of solid gold. He reached back inside and ended up pulling out a total of 5 billion bars. Unfortunately, these guys were too scared to get in trouble by the authorities and ended up turning the bar of gold in with the ammo. Frozen. At first, these law enforcement officers found nothing while searching a vacant apartment. But when they opened the fridge, they were presented with something way better than Mom's leftover spaghetti and meatballs. 500 million rubles. Yeah, you heard that right. 500 million. That's over $7.4 trillion. So next time you open your fridge, hope for some rubles instead of food. Inside a book. We're about to give you a great reason why you need to read, and also a good reason not to use nudes as your bookmarks. Owner Kat Mulheron collects the small pieces of history she finds within books she sells at her store Bent Books. Miss Mulheron says she has found glorious old letters, photos, and the weird things that people decide to use as bookmarks, which for some reason includes nude photos. If she can find the owners of the things found in the book, she tries to return them, including the nudes. Imagine the faces of people when she gives them a nude photo of themselves. Miss Mulheron was even lucky enough to find $185 in a book. Small treasure, agreed, but she never found the owners of the money. Gold mine in the garden. We all find unusual things in our homes, things that seem out of place or even that we aren't aware of, like a book or a pair of old shoes left behind by someone living in the same house before you. But these are small and ordinary. Anthony Dolan modestly owned a property of 16.5 acres. He took a casual stroll once in his property and spotted a tunnel opening in the ground. Strange for sure, but one would be wary of entering such a tunnel. But Mr. Dolan was no ordinary man, and when he did enter the tunnel, he realized there's a gold mine inside. Apparently, there were many such gold mines around, but he did not get around to checking if they contained gold. He then sold the land expecting a great return, but that wasn't to be. Trust is more valuable than gold, any day. Garbage. We have heard of stories where something of value is accidentally thrown away in the garbage. It is usually a piece of paper, a bill, or someone's telephone number. Heck, we all have done that. Georgia County has its trash trucks bring in about 300 tons of garbage every day. Needless to say, every bit of this is not of any value because, well, it's garbage. The solid waste director, Johnny Vickers, once received a distress call wherein a woman said that she accidentally threw away her jewelry worth $100,000. Mr. Vickers immediately assembled a team, and with great striving, they eventually found the garbage bag containing the jewelry. A bit careless on the woman's part, don't you think? Another garbage story. It is clear by now that garbage in general is great value. A woman once found a large painting stuffed in garbage bags, and when she got it examined by art experts, it turned out to be a painting by Rufino Tamayo that was stolen. And guess what? The FBI still has a case pending on the theft. An inexpensive painting. We all have bought cheap things off a flea market or gypsy sellers thinking that they aren't expensive, they can't harm. This story is of a man who was one such believer and purchased an old painting at a flea market. When he removed the canvas to fix it, he found a stuffing inside, which looked like a piece of large paper. No prices for guessing. It was the original copy of the Declaration of Independence. The date too on it said 1776, so that there's enough credibility. Inside people. A rather morbid title, but that's what it is. We find happiness and friendships in other people. But when you find something close to $2.3 million, you'd want them closer. A Lebanese man once searched by the authorities at the Johannesburg airport, and when they scanned his body, it revealed almost 220 gemstones inside his stomach. The authorities were acting on a tip, and while they suspected him to carrying diamonds, they certainly did not expect him to carry them literally inside his gut. A few laxatives and the man had to, well, for the lack of a better word, expel the stones out of his body. He was later subjected to the court and the stones were presented there. Harsh way to cure constipation, really. Bird's nest. Stealing is a crime, but only if the one doing it is human. Julia Bowler from Sheffield once left her engagement on the window ledge while taking a shower, only to learn that it's missing. The usual suspects were questioned, but they all denied. When they eventually gave up hope, almost 3 years later, they found the ring in the buried nest of a magpie. Well, well. Under the bed. Well, we all pick up stuff that we spot in random places as souvenirs. These are pebbles or stones on a beach or bowls and cutlery from restaurants. A fisherman from the Philippines once found his anchor stuck to an enormous stone which he kept under his bed as a lucky charm. Almost a decade later, he would hand it over to his aunt, who worked with the government. Upon getting it inspected by the experts, the stone, or rather a pearl, was found to be worth more than $100 million. Lucky charm indeed. In a sofa. 3 students found as much as $40,000 in their $20 sofa. Being good Samaritans, they returned the money to whom it belonged, in this case, a 91-year-old widow who had stashed it away. A toy. A woman once found a simple-looking toy. When she tried to inspect it, she found something inside. Upon opening it, she found 1 diamond ring and about 100 diamond stones. A case of pure fortune. On the flip side, there are theories to this case which either negate the discovery or give a new perspective. Some say that the whole thing has been staged and is fake, while few others say that this is a classic case of a curse passed through jewelry. Which one would you be interested in?